Good day, YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Albino Rhino Beer Review. Today you have the Rhino, and we're looking at a beer from Rebellion Brewing Company here in Regina, Saskatchewan today. I'm first and foremost going to say I know that a lot of people are getting agitated at the fact that my reviews are so Saskatchewan-centric right now, but until I start getting things sent from other provinces and stuff, this is what I have available to me. So this is what we're going with. Maybe I'll get a new audience too out of this. Maybe I'll get a whole bunch of people from Saskatchewan watching. I don't think I have a lot of people from Saskatchewan that watch. I know there's a few. PD, Mr. Perfect. There's like five. There's five guys that I've talked to about Saskatchewan since being here. Anyway, this is, I don't even know the style of this. Reading the ingredients, I'm thinking it's going to be like either like a Mexican lager or a goza or something. Anyway, our ingredients are barley, corn, wheat, hops, water, yeast, lime, lemon, salt. This is Queen City Pride. So this was made for a Pride event. It's 4.2% alcohol by volume. Regina is known as the Queen City. I do not know what the 89 symbolizes. Again, I'm so new to Saskatchewan. I don't know this stuff. I don't know if there's something to do with that, if there isn't. I know there's a lot of people that get mad at these beers being reviewed, and like, who cares? There's beers named everything from Farmer's Daughter's Melons all the way to Queen City Pride. Who gives a crap? Who gives a crap? I don't. Here's what I know. If I was to go and attend a event, there might be some tasty craft beer there. There might be. So I'm going into this blinder than I actually normally am, because again, I know nothing. I don't know style. I just know the ingredients would make me think like a citrus lager, or maybe a Mexican lager, or maybe a goza. The color is fucking crystal clear. I can see my face in the camera, and I can see my eye on the other. I can see through the beer, and then on the camera, I can see through the beer to see myself again. Like I can, oh, look at me. Oh. So that's actually pretty fucking awesome. That really is. Bright white head, nice snap, crackle, pop, crystal clear. This is not a bad looking beer. I mean, kind of looks like your average macro other than the head retention. But it's not a bad looking beer. I mean, the head retention makes it a nice looking beer. You can be as crystal clear and brassy straw colored as you want. If you have some nice head retention, you're going to look okay in that glass. You know something we didn't do? We didn't check the canning date. Oh, this one doesn't have a canning date. It has the black splotch, but there's no nothing going on with it. It's just the black splotch. Okay, I guess we'll give her a sniff, shall we? We'll give her a sniff from the glass first. I can't say bready biscuity. I can't say super malty, and it's neutral cereal grains and a tiny touch of citrus. That's what I'm getting out of it. Neutral cereal grains and a tiny touch of citrus out of the can. The citrus is a little more out of the can. Now this is 4.2% alcohol, and this is where this is weird, because that has that high gravity lager type of smell to it. That like sort of sickly sweet smell coming from the can. So I don't know what I'm getting out of this. Cheers, let's try it. Okay, the first sip, I got that sickly sweet fortified lager taste off the first sip. The second sip didn't quite get that overly sweet fortified lager flavor, but I did get a lot more dirtiness in the background than I expected. A saltiness that does clear the palate rather quickly. Tiny touch of citrus. I mean, with lemon and lime both being in here, I expected more citrus, but with the slightly dirty flavor and all that, I would wonder if we were using zests and stuff. Like if it was the peel used more so than like the juices or the flesh. Yeah, it's like citrus zest on the back end. And then the salt and the dirtiness hits your back. And the forefront has that. It's very sweet on the forefront, but it's not. The first sip threw me off because the first sip was that fortified lager flavor. Every sip since then has just been more sweet than I expected it to be. I don't dislike this, but I don't like it. This isn't something that I can say has brewing faults or anything like that, or is gross and I'd never drink it again. But it's not something. Even if there was a pride parade happening and this was offered, and I went to it for some reason. I mean, I have nothing against pride parades. I don't normally go because I just don't. Last 5 years I've worked in the Arctic, so there wasn't like there was any. And before that, I would usually work in the tourist industry, and I just didn't want to be surrounded by people. And that's what it came down to. So I didn't go to these things. I had a lot of gay friends, and I supported them, and I'd help them make their costumes and stuff, or help them pick things out for the costumes. But I just never went because I didn't want to be surrounded by people. So let's say I was there. I went out this year, and I'm like, yeah, let's go to the Pride Parade. And this was being offered, and beside this was, I don't know, an old Vienna. I'd probably grab the old Vienna. Because it doesn't have enough citrus notes to make me excited, and it's not refreshing enough to make me excited. But there's nothing wrong with it. And I mean, I'm really setting myself up that if they ever watch these videos, they're like, we're never going to hire that guy. I tried to be their taproom manager. I applied to be their taproom manager. I thought things were going to go good. And it didn't. But I think I'm setting myself up that even if their new taproom manager was to completely falter and get fired in the next week or two, I wouldn't be hired because I'm too honest about things. And I don't, it's not for me. It's not a bad beer. You know what it kind of reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of their beer, but with some lemon, some lime, and some salt. It's drinkable. But it's not what I like. And I mean, Rebellion's made some beers that I've had since being down here that I'm like, oh my god, these are great. They've even gotten a couple dances out of me. This one's not getting it. I think truthfully, that would be a 5.75 out of 10 for me. Nothing wrong with it. I've tried it now. I've tried it. I've got the T-shirt. No reason to drink it again, unless somebody else bought it and brought it over. I'd have. Maybe if it was cold, I wouldn't be getting that weird sweetness up at the forefront. Because again, that is a dilemma with the way I drink things the way I was trained in beer, which is, you drink it warm because then you get all the flavors and this and that. And the people I learnt from were European, a lot of them. John Downing was talking to me about how he drinks his beer. I learnt how to test beer by people who have been in the industry a lot longer than I have, and a lot longer than some of these breweries have been in the industry. So maybe if it was cold, I wouldn't have gotten that sweetness. Maybe I would have liked it more. But I like to know if there's anything hiding behind anything. And the only real way to tell that is to let the beer warm up. And I mean, you could do the thing where you pour in your glass and you drink it over the course of like 30. Nobody ain't got time for that. I'm not fucking drinking it over 30 minutes. I'm not letting it warm up in my hands and pausing the video and coming back to it and splicing it all together. No, it's not happening. But anyway, it's not a bad beer. You might like it. Try it. Let me know how you feel. Queen City Pride by Rebellion. Bye-bye.